Welcome to Northern Lights. I'm Mark, and this week I'm going to go through a rundown of the upcoming UFC London card. So I think coming off the success of the last London card that they had earlier this year, it's really good for them to keep that momentum going, especially, I might be biased just because I'm a UK fan, but because of the times that it's on, they absolutely stack it with Brits, you know, like the hometown crowd. You've got the hometown heroes there and everything, and it is stacked from the prelims all the way to the main card with exciting fighters. It's not just because, you know, we're British, but it does feel like we've got something back as opposed to having to stay up till, you know, 3, 4, 5, 8 o'clock in the morning. And this time it's on at a good time. The main card starts at about 8 p.m, I think, like before, and it's packed full of, you know, British fighters, which is a great thing for us. It's just that the hometown hero feel. So I'm going to go through the main card, have a rundown of that. Starting off first, there is Paul Craig, big Scottish Paul Craig, Bear Jew. He's fighting Volkan Ozdemir. I hope I've said that right. Now, personally, my eyes got more drawn to Paul Craig after the brutal finish of Jamal Hill last year with the triangle choke. And he was dashing the elbows down. It looked like Jamal Hill's arm was like a Stretch Armstrong doll. It was flopping around everywhere. It turns out it was just dislocated. Paul is a monster at jiu-jitsu on the ground, everything. It's similar to the London fight that he had a couple of months ago, where it was a first round submission finish again. Now, from his back, I always seem to get a little worried because he seems to take quite a bit of punishment. But this time he's fighting the number 9 ranked guy, and Paul is number 8, so he's very, very closely matched as well in the light heavyweight division. It's an exciting division. Hopefully Paul can get it done, because we're one step closer to my dream fight of Paul Craig versus Anthony Smith that way. Now, leading on after that, we've got Meatball Molly McCann versus Hannah Goldie. Now, I'm willing to admit, I don't know too much about either fighter. I've just seen Molly's UFC fights. That's about it, really. But just that alone, in the sense of she brings eyes to her fights. And it's not just because of that knockout that we'd seen at the previous London card, the spinning back fist knockout. It was devastating. She brings the fight. You don't feel like you're watching someone having a feeling out process. Molly's going for the kill. She's going for the jugular, and it is fun to watch. She's exciting. I can't wait to watch her fight in the future. And like I said, I'm not running over Hannah Goldie here, but when someone's got that much momentum, like Molly McCann does, you want to see where they go. So hopefully she gets the win. We get pushed up the main card. She gets a ranking next to her name, maybe very soon in the future. And you never know, in a year or so, we could even see her fighting towards the title, or at least in the top 5 contenders. Now, next on the card, I'm actually really excited to see Alexander Gustafsson come back. He's fighting Nikita Krylov. Now, I haven't seen Gus fight. I'm not sure if he has had a fight, but I haven't seen him fight since he fought Fabricio Verdum at heavyweight, and that was 2020. Now, I'm not sure if he has had a fight there. I haven't actually followed his career too much, but I'm kind of remembering the old Gus, the DC fights, the John Jones fights, them kind of things. I'm bringing all them back into, that's what's in my memory of him. See, Nikita Krylov is ranked number 11. Alexander Gustafsson doesn't have a ranking next to him, but he can bring that back. If he can bring that back, maybe even get the submission win or something like that, it could be seriously a big name in that division again. Because to fight on a London card, I know it's a big card, but it feels like a big card for Brits. Hopefully, Gus can get this done. And I'm just riding on the tails of, you know, the fighter that he used to do, the fights that he was involved in. Hopefully, he can bring them back. Now, after that, we've got Paddy Pimblett versus Jordan Leavitt. Now, obviously, Paddy needs no introduction. He's got a massive following himself. But it's interesting to see him still be active. I know he's on his first contract right now. It isn't even ranked, but why would it be? He's come over on this contract. He'll probably climb the rankings a bit more when he's on a new one. But this fight seems interesting because, I mean, Paddy won't say no. And obviously, as a character, he brings a lot of eyes to the sport. whether it's the hair, the Owen Hart cut, you know, the fact that he inflates in between fights or something like that. I mean, it's just, but he does finish fights as well. That's the thing. He isn't just a gimmick character. He might be able to make you laugh without his love of food or something like that, but he does get the job done. You know, he got a finish in his last 2 UFC fights. I mean, in his debut, got a finish. This last London card, got a finish as well. And obviously, that's not even including his previous days in Bellator. There's a lot of eyes on Paddy. I don't think he really feels the pressure. He's still young as well. That's the thing. And he's a lightweight fighter. We might be able to see him again, you know, in a year or two, similar to Molly McCann, climb the rankings, end up going for the gold eventually. But this is a really exciting fight. You get to see them all again coming all together. It's really interesting. Now, the co-main event was supposed to be Jack Hermansson versus Darren Till. Now, we've actually just lost Darren Till from this card because due to injury. So Chris Curtis is replacing him. Now, Chris is ranked number 9 and Jack's ranked number 8. I must admit, I'm a little gutted at the sense of, you know, losing Darren because he needed a win as well. And there was a high pressure fight in there as well. Not just because, you know, he's English and let's throw him to the wolves and put him in a fight just because it happens to be UFC London around the corner. But the last few fights of Darren's career have been sort of interesting, and you feel like you want to see him get back in the win column, want to see him get back in there in the talks of the big names in the middleweight division. But that being said, it is what it is. We can't do anything about it. Jack Hermansson is a monster grappler, and he can take you down and he can submit you, can smother you. Now, Chris Curtis, I'm not 100% sure on his fights. I may have seen them in the past, but just the attraction for me there is Jack Hermansson. And I think we could get a good grapple heavy session because usually if someone's a heavy grappler, it could be a display of skill set, you know. The main event, though, is, I think, going to be anything but boring, if I'm honest. You've got Curtis Blades versus Tom Aspinall. Now, Tom has finished all of his fights in the UFC. He's finished them all in a good, solid way as well. His last fight was against Alexander Volkov, and he finished him in the first round with a straight armbar. Now, I'd hate to say that he made it look easy, but he did. It was like, it was so quick with his hands. The takedown that he succeeded with, it seemed to be effortless. It just went straight down. Now, Curtis Blades, a lot of people seem to be sleeping on him, me included, with like his last fight against Kyle Daukaus or Chris Daukaus, whichever brother it was, the heavyweight brother. I always get them mixed up. You'd think that it was going to be a snooze fest of Curtis just laying and praying, but it wasn't. Curtis came in there, he had quick hands, and in the second round, he just came in with I think it was like a 17-second finish, something like that in the second round. So Curtis can prove that he's done it all. This has got the backstory of, I've seen an interview with Tom Aspinall where he's saying, basically, no one wants to fight Curtis Blades. No one wants to fight yourself. What do you think? And he said, yeah, I'll do it. I'm in. Now, it'd be great if the UK could get another champion in time, in a short space of time to come. If Tom can climb the rankings, because he's at number 6 right now. If he manages to beat Curtis Blades, then we're just looking at a new title contender. That's it. But then again, I do like Curtis Blades, you know, and this is more personal opinion, but the rundown of it overall is Curtis can do the striking, he can do the grappling, Tom can do it both as well. Now, I'm not sure how this fight's going to go because it's not the conventional, you know, just grappler versus striker, because usually, you know, the wrestler or the grappler usually wins, gets the better of them. This is just going to be a massive showcase, and rightly so, it's the main event. I'm glad that more eyes are coming to the heavyweight division in general because it seemed to die off a little bit. Being the headline of such a big card like this, I think it's going to do nothing but good. Now, this is a couple of weeks away, this card, but I just have to see this run through it all, and it gets you excited. We've got variety in there. We've got all different weight divisions. We've got the Molly McCann fight. We've got Paddy Pimblett in there. I don't know what else you need. It's just going to be exciting. Now, I think that's all I've got time for. If you can like, comment, and subscribe, it really does help us out.